everyone, I'm Julia.
And I'm Jimmy.
And welcome to our show.
So I've been investing in real estate for about 14 years now when I purchased my first property. In the last 5 years, I've been getting involved with seminars, reading books, and getting into the active side of real estate, short-term rentals, fix and flips, buy and holds. And I just want to provide a bunch of value to people. So a lot of investors, people, friends, families been asking us, how do I get started?
We're happy that you're here today, and we hope that you gain some valuable knowledge from this interview. Our guest today is Tyler Uenaka, and without further ado, let's get started.
Welcome. So I have Tyler Uenaka here. All right, Tyler, tell us a little about who you are, where you're from, and how you got involved in the real estate.
For sure, man. I'm from Sacramento. My name is Tyler Uenaka. I actually started getting into real estate not even 7 months ago. Before that, I grew up being an athlete. I was a motocross racer. I grew up training pretty much since I was 3 years old, all the way until 17
How
or
far
16.
did you get into that?
Well, I was training every day pretty much. So I wanted to become a professional. That was the whole goal, was to become a professional motocross racer.
Yeah.
I had to go through a lot of injuries, and unfortunately that just comes with the sport. So my last...
I know this is about real estate. I was just kind of curious because I love sports, motocross. I was heavy into snowboarding, but were you trying to in motocross, like freestyle motocross or like racing motocross?
No, racing motocross, like on the track.
Okay.
So that's what I did for. Originally, I started off doing like trails, and then I got into racing track and stuff. But anyways, I started doing that my whole life. I was getting a lot of injuries, so I put it off and decided to stop. And I got really heavy into gaming. I love gaming. I grew up, I always gamed even when I was off the dirt bike. So I wanted to be a professional gamer. I wanted to be a YouTuber and a streamer. And after like a year or so of doing that, obviously doing that takes a while, just like anything else you want to build a career out of. But I was 18 years old at the time, and I wasn't really doing anything with my life other than sitting in my room all day, 10 hours a day playing video games. And it really hit me for some reason. I feel like right at the start of COVID, where I was like, man, I need to figure out what I want to do. So I learned about the stock market. I started getting into like day trading and stuff, which I still do. I enjoy it. Although it's risky, I think I treat it as like a video game. It's fun to me.
Oh yeah, stocks are pretty intense.
Yeah,
Was it just day trading, or did you get into like Forex, options?
I would day trade options. I never touched Forex. I did put some money in crypto. That I didn't trade actively. I would just buy and hold the crypto.
So
but as far as
give us a little bit of your experience. Like, was it profitable? Did you pretty much lose? Because I lost.
Well, I definitely lost. Lost, which is which is fine. You, especially starting off, expect to lose. Yeah, exactly. Expect to lose. You're not gonna become a millionaire overnight. It's just not how it works. Anyways, so I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. That was like the first thing that introduced me to like the world of investing. I heard it recommended all over YouTube. I just heard it all the time. So I bought it, read it. That introduced me to real estate. I wanted to become an agent. So I got the agent course. I did that. And
if you don't mind me asking, who got you that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad? Like who was the one you did? So did you just happen to walk through Barnes and Nobles and just walk down the aisles and just pick up a Rich Dad Poor Dad, or how'd that work out?
It was YouTube.
Okay.
I watched a lot of stock market videos, and I wish I had the exact answer for you, but I know I found it off of YouTube. I don't remember which video, but I don't know. I talked to as well one of my friends who was kind of day trading as well. Doing the things that I liked. He recommended it to me as well. So, YouTube and a friend recommended it to me. So I just bought it off Amazon, ordered it, and started reading it. I realized it was more for like real estate. And so that got me interested in real estate. And I had no idea about it. I thought you needed to be rich to, invest in real estate. I found out that agents were a thing, which I had no idea. and that's what I wanted to become. I didn't have to actually buy the house. So then just through the process of learning about how to become a real estate agent through YouTube videos, courses, which I did buy a course. It was a very inexpensive course. I didn't learn too much, to be honest, but I just found...
How much would this course cost you?
That one was $500 that I bought.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah. So it wasn't, to some people that's a lot. I mean, I'm not, anyways.
Well, I mean, because like people are
Well, it
paying
depends
like...
on how serious you are about it.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, some people are
Right.
paying $30,000 for courses. I mean,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And so just through, the same process that I found out about real estate through stocks, just through the process of learning about stocks, I learned about real estate. So in the process of learning how to become an agent, I stumbled across wholesaling on YouTube videos, and off of TikTok actually was like the main motivator for me. This 14-year-old kid was like using his parents' name to wholesale. And I was like, what is this? So then I just got super deep into that.
You
And
can learn
that's-
so much on TikTok. It's
Oh my
crazy.
God, I know. It's like
Yeah.
the entire internet's on there.
I know.
I know. Well, because like on TikTok, like I don't have a TikTok account, but like
Mhm.
I see people are flowing their TikTok videos onto Instagram, and I've been sent messages of TikTok videos, and it's very informative.
Mhm.
But like I'm already on so many social medias and marketing platforms. It's like, oh, I can't just deal with another one. I'm still trying to figure out Instagram right now because it keeps
Oh
changing
man,
every month.
you're missing out. TikTok is just free advertisement all
It's
day. dude.
TikTok. I know.
It really is.
Yeah.
I know. I
Sure.
gotta find a marketing manager for that. But anyhow, all right. So go on with TikTok is kind of like paved the way for understanding the wholesale biz.
Yeah, so it was like a 30-second video quickly going over the process of wholesaling. And that really introduced me into that and got me interested in it. So I just watched more YouTube videos on it. And I kind of just forgot about being an agent. So
So did you ever get your agent's license?
no, I
Okay.
let it expire. Yeah,
All
because
right.
I found out as well, you don't need to be an agent to wholesale.
Yes.
And the thing that attracted me the most about wholesaling was you can scale it into a much larger business than being an agent. Because, or correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're an agent, you have to be the one holding the listings or doing the appointments or whatever. And if you're wholesaling, you can hire a whole team around it and build it like a business. And you can just really step away from the wholesale business. So that's what attracted me the most to wholesaling, and that's why I kind of went that route.
All right. Sounds good, Tyler. So can you explain a little bit more like what a wholesaler is and what's the process of being a wholesaler?
Yeah, so it's very simple. Wholesaling is basically a person who, contacts motivated sellers, which would be people in, typically people in distress, maybe foreclosure or filing for bankruptcy or going through a divorce or whatever, that may need the money or the funds and want to sell their house at a discount. And you would reach out to those sellers, try and get their property under contract to purchase, but rather than you actually purchasing the property, you would sell that contract to an investor for a fee, and that's called the assignment fee. So you would essentially assign over the rights of the original contract over to an investor to purchase the property. And that investor will basically take over your name on the original contract, and you will be paid a fee from your investor.
Whammo. So like how long do you say this transition process is? Like a day, 2 days, 10 days, 30
Well,
days?
the process of getting a house to under contract, that varies. When you're starting off, it could take months and months and months to finally find a house to put under contract. But let's say you do find a house and you have a buyer. It's really as fast as the seller wants to sell and as fast as the buyer wants to buy. I mean, you have a contract ready to go to buy a property, and if you have a buyer ready to go to buy the property, you can really go as fast as either two parties want to move. So it could be a couple days, it could be a week, it could be a month. It just depends all on the terms of the contract, and also sometimes depending on the funding that your buyer is getting.
That's interesting. So like I could see in the background that you're in your room there. Now, can
My
you
office.
do this virtually? Can you just be in your PJs all day, or can you like be out and drive around, or?
Oh, dude, I don't leave my room. You could do this
Do you
completely
use the restroom
virtually.
at all? I mean, I'm just joking.
No.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you can do this completely virtually. I do it in my own backyard here in Sacramento. I also do it in Southern California, which I actually did one with you in Palm Springs. And here in Sac, I do a lot of my marketing towards sellers through cold calling. And you don't need to, like, it's on the phone, so you could sit in your room all day and call people. You can also negotiate over the phone. You can agree on a price over the phone. You can, if you are doing it somewhere far where you can't drive to the property, you can pay someone off of like Facebook or Fiverr or whatever to go take pictures of a property. So you can really, as long as you have the right resources and know the correct people in the area that you're doing it in, you can do it completely virtual, and you don't have to leave your room.
And you're making all these phone calls, or do you have a team doing it for you?
I have been over the past few weeks because I actually just started just a few weeks ago calling sellers. Now before that, the way I did my deals was through helping other wholesalers sell their deals. So this is a great way to start wholesaling with zero money, because a lot of people will tell you you don't need any money to wholesale, and then they're going to tell you to go cold call and market to sellers, which costs money. So I see a little bit of a fallacy there. It does cost money because you need to pay for phone numbers and stuff, and it's a little bit misleading to say it's completely free. But the way I did it for completely free was not doing that and leveraging other wholesalers who were doing that. And I would reach out to these wholesalers through Facebook. I would pretty much friend request anyone and everyone that I saw looked like they were wholesaling in Facebook groups or investment groups, and reach out to them to see if they had any deals under contract that they're looking to sell to a buyer. And my goal was to bring a buyer, which you can find through Facebook, Craigslist, Connected Investors, LinkedIn, through social media. It's a very popular way to find buyers. And that doesn't cost anything to use a social media. So you can bring a buyer for free to another person's wholesale deal of which they paid marketing to get. And that's a great way to, and it's called a joint venture. You can joint venture with those other wholesalers and team up on the same deal and help them get it sold. So that's a great way to do it for free. I'm sorry, I went off. What was your question?
Mainly you answered it pretty much. Like, what was your systems and process? Like how you
Okay.
deals,
Yeah. So that was how I did my deals. And then you asked if I was cold calling or had a team. So I just started cold calling a few weeks ago.
So quick question is like, how'd you get those numbers, and like what are you focusing on, or what are the type of clients that you're honing in on to get those numbers?
Yeah, so they have services online. There's a website. There's multiple websites you can do this on. I use a website called PropStream. You can pull lists of seller information or property information rather, of the homeowner's name of these properties, along with the situation they may be in, which may be pre-foreclosure. They may be going through a divorce, or they might be filing for bankruptcy, like I mentioned earlier. So these are the kind of lists you want to try and target, or target vacant properties. So these services will automatically detect that these properties are in these situations. Sometimes they're wrong. Sometimes properties are not in these situations like they say they are. But for the majority, for the most part, it's pretty accurate. So PropStream is a great way to find those lists. Now, once you have that list, you can download it, use a service called skip tracing. I use batch skip tracing. And it's 15 cents if you use a promo code, or it's 20 cents if you don't have one. But you can honestly find a promo code on YouTube. And upload that list of properties into the skip tracing service, skip trace for 15 cents or 20 cents each, and then you get their phone numbers back. And then you can either hand dial them, or which takes a long time, or there are other services that use dialers where you can just upload the list of phone numbers automatically, and that dialer will dial those numbers automatically. And some dialers will call 3 numbers at a time, 1 number at a time, 10 numbers at a time, and that's how you can contact those people very quickly.
So if those dialers are going out and then your 2 people pick up at the same time, how do you handle that situation?
One will automatically hang up and just get a voicemail. and then it'll redial.
Oh, no way. Oh,
it'll
okay.
redial that number that called you right after you're done talking to the other person.
So that's like a twofer, like you got a double dinger in there.
Yeah. So that's
cool.
That's the process of cold calling. I actually just hired a VA this week, which is a virtual assistant for those who don't know, located in the Philippines. I use a service called Start Virtual, and they're pretty much, their service is providing you with virtual assistants that are pre-trained to either cold call or handle your acquisitions and like sales, or manage your leads, or like whatever you really need. So I hired a cold calling virtual assistant, so that way I don't have to be sitting in my room for hours a day cold calling myself.
Well, even though you are sitting in your room already.
Well, right, but I can put those.
You'd be more efficient with your time.
Yeah, you'd be folding clothes at the same time.
Yeah.
All right, so what would you say is your latest deal, and like how did that flow?
My latest deal was actually with you last month. So I had actually transitioned my my marketing strategy from working with other wholesalers, which at the time when I closed that deal with you, I had transitioned into the cold calling. So it's been a bit dry over the past month for me since I've been doing in that transition. But the last one was with you. You had the property under a lease to own contract, if I can remember correctly.
Yes.
You sent it to another wholesaler who had sent it to me. And then I liked it at the price he gave it to me at. And so I remember when I first talked to you and your partner, Alfred, you guys were a little bit skeptical with working with multiple wholesalers because you weren't really super familiar with the process of wholesaling, or you didn't maybe like wholesalers, I don't know. But I got everyone on the phone. I made sure everything was cool, and I brought in my dispositions partner, Brandon, which he works for a big company, New Western Acquisitions, which their focus is dispositions, which is working with buyers. So I knew if I sent it to them, I could sell. I knew they could sell that deal. So I put you two directly in contact for a smoother transition, or for a smoother transaction. So that way, where there weren't a whole bunch of moving parts within it, I just put you two in contact, and you guys ended up closing. Me and you, or Alfred, the both of you, we worked out a promissory note of what you guys would have paid us outside of the closing for our fee. And it was a very smooth process from what I can remember. So that was.
So for me, like the seller wanted to sell it, and then we couldn't find a buyer. But then we're like, I contacted a wholesaler who contacted you, and then you guys found a buyer. And so Alfred's always skeptical on like a chain of other wholesalers.
Right. No,
I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like, let's just sell this thing. We're helping him out. We're getting some cash, and we're helping out the buyer who's getting a property at a smoking deal.
So I have a question from start to finish of like deciding that you were going to wholesale Palm Springs house to finish.
Yeah.
How long did that take? Like, how many days was that whole transaction?
It took us a month to do it on our own, in which we were unsuccessful. And then I told Alfred, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna reach out to some people, and then somehow I came up across this guy named Ken, and then Ken got in touch with you, and then you found Brandon, and then Brandon had a buyer, and then it was like that process took about, what'd you say, another 2 weeks to a month?
Yeah, I think like probably like another 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Well, the reason I'm asking, because it's very impressive that you're able to make all these deals from the comfort of like literally sitting in your pajamas if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
And so, because I have people who are always wanting to like kind of jump in on our deals or see what we're doing, and I'm like, you know, if you try hard enough, there are avenues and ways to go about getting involved in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
If you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to educate yourself. And
Right.
so I guess I wanted to know, for anyone listening that's thinking about starting in real estate or in wholesale deals, how long like you were involved in our deal, and how much, like, what was your payout on that deal?
My payout was $15,000.
See, that's amazing.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
gave this guy 15,000. We have to find a buyer.
Yeah.
And the awesome thing is you know, we had such a great deal. Everyone ate well. Even my disposition partner Brandon. Listen, I'm not one to worry about what other people are making. If I'm making the money on the deal, I don't care if it's good for me. I don't care what anyone else is making. I think that's how everyone should look at it.
Absolutely.
And so my disposition partner Brandon, of who I send most of my Southern California deals to, because I know he knows a lot more people there than I do. But he sent it out. He knows the area. He knows his buyers. He knows what buyers are willing to pay more than what I know. So he took advantage of that and marked it up another 100-something thousand and sold it to his buyers. So he made a great profit, although he does work for under a brokerage, so some of that gets taken away. But I mean, that's awesome. I'm not gonna sit here and be jealous about like,
No.
You marked it up this much, like you took all this money. I only made 15,000. Like I made 15,000 sitting in my room.
Absolutely, just from transferring the note. And then for him, like, he probably deserves a higher payout because he has that clientele, he has the buyers, he knows the people that can invest and buy it at that price. So no, that's awesome.
And if you don't mind, I want to touch on one thing that you had mentioned earlier, Jimmy, of what Alfred said about he's a little bit worried. He was at least a little bit worried of too many wholesalers, like a chain of wholesalers. And that gives a lot of bad look to wholesalers, because there's this thing called daisy chaining, which is when a bunch of wholesalers, without permission, take other people's deals, send it out to other wholesalers with a marked up fee on top, not under paperwork or anything. It's just, and they're marketing it as their own deal. And then it's just a never ending chain of that. So that would be daisy chaining, which that happens unfortunately a lot in the wholesale space, especially with new wholesalers. And
People trying to skim off the top.
yes, exactly. And that gives a bad name to wholesalers. So I think, unfortunately, I want to make it clear for a lot of new wholesalers, when you're getting into wholesaling and want to work with other wholesalers, make sure you're doing it right. Make sure you know the person, you have a relationship with them. If you want to work with them on their deal, make sure you have it in paperwork. And like when Ken sent it over, your property over to me, he did not have that under a joint venture agreement with you or an option agreement with you, which I didn't like. That's why I got everyone on the phone together, and I wanted to make sure everyone was on the same page and everything was going to go smooth, because I don't want new wholesalers to come in and start, daisy chaining without doing it right. I mean, there's a right way to work with wholesalers, and then there's a wrong way to do it. And I want to make sure it's clear for newer people to come in and do it the right way.
Thank you for mentioning that. It's very important you said that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're going to move forward into what's your biggest tip, and like what can you share with our listeners?
My biggest tip, if you're going to be starting off, like are you talking for new people coming into the game, or? Okay. Sure. I would say be consistent. and don't expect things to just happen and come to you, and you're not going to get rich quick. It's just not how it works. Yes, you can get lucky and get a good deal. But really, I would say give it a year of putting your absolute all in, and like, don't just quit after a couple months because you're not making a bunch of money. No matter what whether it's wholesaling, whether it's fix and flipping, and like you can't find a deal, or even if it's stocks and you're not profiting, or like whatever it is, just be consistent and don't expect things to come to you easily. And remember, if you don't quit, it's impossible to fail, in my opinion.
Ooh, that sounds good. Let that breathe for a second.
Well, and the time is going to pass either way, so it's like,
yeah,
whatever you're learning, keep applying it.
I read a really. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's all I was saying.
Okay, yeah, I read a really good quote on Instagram the other day. If you quit now, you'll be right back to where you started, and when you started, you were desperate to be where you're at now. And that, I saw that, and that motivated me to keep going, because it really really just track yourself after a month or two of like anybody coming into business or real estate. You're gonna learn so much, and it's gonna take a while. It's not gonna happen fast. So just be consistent.
Okay. What would be your secret to success in real estate?
Understanding value, knowing what's a deal and what's not. That's not really a secret, but I don't think there really is a secret. But I do think the most important thing is to understand value, especially with wholesaling, especially with flipping, and really any sort of investing. Really understanding what the property value, what a property is worth, and what what maybe rehab costs, or but yeah, understanding the value and worth of a property.
Understanding the real estate market. A lot of my friends are asking like, hey, the market's still high right now, and a lot of us entrepreneurs and real estate investors are like, oh, there's deals everywhere. The market's going up and down. So where do you see the market in like 1 to 5 years?
To be honest, I don't know.
That's a good answer. I mean, right now, everything's speculative.
I don't think you can time the market.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So we're gonna go into this next round. It's gonna be really quick. It's called Would You Rather.
Okay.
So go ahead, Jules, to start us off.
Okay. Would you rather eat a hot dog or a hamburger?
Definitely a hot dog.
Okay.
All right. Would you fly to the moon or stay on land?
Stay on land. That's scary.
Classic car or muscle car?
Supercar.
Supercar.
Classic car.
Yeah, well, because classic and muscle are kind of similar.
All right. How about beach or the mountain?
The mountains for practical reasons, the beach for the vibes.
For sure, that's a good answer.
Stocks or real estate?
I love both, but I'll probably have to go with real estate.
Single family or multifamily?
Multifamily.
Residential or commercial?
Residential.
Active income or passive income?
Passive.
Book or audiobook?
Book. I like having it in my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. No Kindle?
Not a fan, no.
All right, webinar or seminar?
What's the difference?
Seminar you attend in person.
Oh, okay.
Webinars are like,
probably a seminar. If it's good, I don't want to waste my time. But.
Yeah, because you're in person, you're networking, you're
Yeah.
shaking hands, getting in front of people.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like our tidal wave round, real quick, and a little bit about who you are. So what do you do for fun?
I love to play video games and ride dirt bikes when I can.
Okay, what's your favorite book? Real estate or business?
I wish I've read more, to be honest, but from the ones that I have read, I'd have to say the 10X rule.
Oh yeah, that's
Brand
good.
car down.
Car down,
Baby.
Oh yeah.
All right, so what's your future goals?
My future goal is to have a fully automated wholesale business, ran by employees or virtual assistants or whatever it may be, as long as I don't have to be there. And then also be invested in large residential multifamilies. And yeah, just have that cash flow.
Nice.
Cash flow. What's your biggest learning experience in real estate investing?
Experience, probably just the process through a transaction. Probably I've learned you're not going to learn that anywhere unless you do it. So it's probably been the biggest experience so far.
Oh yeah, the paperwork, the underwriting. That's probably the hardest part.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, Tyler. So where can we get more information about you? Where can we find you? Where can our viewers get a hold of you?
You can find me on Instagram at Tyler Uenaka, Uenaka is how you spell my last name, and Facebook as well, Tyler Uenaka, TikTok, Tyler Uenaka, and you can text or call me at 925-579-1536.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Yeah, thanks, Tyler. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys for having me on.
In below, but yeah, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Take
care, brother.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Wow, man, that was a lot of information by Tyler. With being a motorcycle rider, racer, to being a gamer, sitting in his room, wearing underwear all day, to making a bunch of deals.
Did you mention he was in his underwear all day?
No, probably not. But I mean, it would be funny if he did. But I mean, like Tyler, I got it. We met up on one of our deals, as you guys heard earlier, and he made $15,000 just on a simple transaction, just getting the note and pull.
Yeah, no, I thought it was amazing, especially because he brought up the fact that he started learning about this during COVID. He hasn't even been doing it a year, and so everybody pulled the COVID card. I can't work. I can't do this. I'm on unemployment. This, and that. When you could be sitting there doing that from your computer and not even having to leave your house. I mean, that's a COVID-friendly job. And you can make bank if you're willing to make the right connections and do the research and stuff. So that's pretty impressive.
Absolutely. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed our show. And remember, it's not an impulse buy, it's an impulse desire to act and think we grow rich. Peace.